All right, I am picking back up with Ozzy Man's take on the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. This is part 6. I highly anticipate there will at least be a part 7, especially after the events of today, which was the last day of trial. It ended early, probably around noon. Explosive cross-examination from Camille Vasquez against Amber Heard again. It was absolutely amazing. I was riveted, just riveted. I could not stop watching. And so I'm hyped up about it. And I'm filming this earlier than I typically would because I'm going to be out this afternoon / evening at the Top Gun movie showing. And then I'm going to do a review for that. And then I have to edit it. You know, so I don't have a lot of time to get this done. And because this is timely, I want to jump on it now. Not sure when it's going to go up though. Tonight, this afternoon, tomorrow, I don't know. Anyway, let's jump right into this. He had ended with Whitney's testimony. He hadn't finished or he hadn't started it or something like that. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say about this whole thing.
All right. The rest of day 18. Amber's sister Whitney was involved in one argument that turned physical. That's the significant key takeaway. A friend of a friend saw Johnny chucking a wobbly and...
Oh, he didn't... Okay, well, and maybe he'll touch on this in his review about the complete different storytelling that went on between Whitney's version and Amber's version of this argument on the stairs. I'm assuming that Johnny's team is going to bring that up in closing arguments.
Confirms he is scary when angry. This makeup artist prepared Amber for the James Corden show. She says there was discoloration under her eyes, a graze under one eye, and a cut on her lip. I saw Johnny angry a lot, says Amber's acting coach. Also, Amber's not good at crying when acting. Day 19, cue the Dandy Warhols. A long time ago, we used to be friends. This fella is just sad that he and Johnny aren't friends anymore. I feel like I've seen Johnny's former agent as a character in a Pixar animation. Anyway, she takes all the credit for his career and drinks from those cups you only see in movies like American Pie. Former businessman.
So a lot of these people that aren't associated with Johnny anymore business-wise are people that he found out had been like mismanaging his money. And so he fired them, let them go, whatever, stuff like that. So it's not like they cut off association with him because of him as a person. It was because of business stuff that had gone sour. Whereas like Amber, a lot of her friends at the time, their associations with her have been just withered away. Her personal friends, things like that.
Manager Johnny's already been in a lawsuit with. Of course he has a stick up his ass. I accept the instruction to not answer basically everything, says Johnny's previous lawyer, Adam Waldman. Every domestic violence case is different when called to the scene, says a detective that was not called to this scene. Cut to a social media guru. He says the hashtag AmberTurd out loud. I'm happy to hand over my analytics so he can tell me if you guys are all bloody bots or not.
That was so much fun to listen to.
I have fucking forgotten who she is. I fell asleep here because she was like,
she's a Disney.
If Pirates 6 is going to be made, I just work in the basement at Disney. There's Smurf from Animal Kingdom. Did you know the TV show Animal Kingdom is based on the Australian movie Animal Kingdom? Oh, what, you didn't know that? So watching the Australian version of Animal Kingdom is the key takeaway from that testimony.
I want this part to be clear. This is not about you doing me a favour or me blackmailing you, anything like that.
Fuck yes, Jackie Weaver. Fuck yes.
I've never seen
Another
that.
doctor that disagrees with other doctors. Classic infuriating doctor industry shenanigans. I advised Amber on the op-ed she wrote that became defamatory, so I'm probably a shit witness and I don't know why I'm here. Aquaman is the greatest movie of all time, and Amber was set to make $30 billion afterwards. All negative comments about her.
And I honestly, okay, so obviously it's not the greatest movie of all time. It's not the highest grossing movie of all time. It's on up there. I think like it's 25, but that doesn't account for inflation, obviously. The thing is, Aquaman at the time, it was fun, but I thought Wonder Woman was tons better. Obviously, I'm biased, but just emotional impact of storytelling, I felt like Wonder Woman did a much better job. And Aquaman, I don't know, it felt so fantastical and out there that while it was pretty to look at and it was enjoyable at the time, I don't think I can watch it now. It's going to be hard watching Justice League from now on, Zack Snyder's Justice League, because her face is in it. I mean, I didn't like it when I saw her in it last year, and I indicated that when I was doing my reaction to it. But Aquaman, I don't know why it earned as much money as it did, because it just wasn't all that. It was okay, but I just didn't rank it on up there. So I'm not sure what the earning power on that was all about, unless it was just Jason Momoa. I don't know.
Her come from bots. I'm a social media guru too, says Amber's agent. Fuck me dead, day 20, and at this point in my life, I'm simply watching a dick measuring contest between medical industry practitioners. This surgeon confidently tells everyone Johnny's finger was not cut off with a vodka bottle. It is important to note he was not there before, during, or after the incident. He's just an expert in general on digit decapitation. There's a fucking niche for it.
Hold on, my dog is crying to be let up here. Just a moment. Come on, Levi. Come on. Come on. Okay. Now I have to see if my camera's right. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's go back just a second.
An expert in general on digit decapitation. There's a fucking niche for everything. Holy shit, this psychiatrist is terrifying with his bloody Gatorade. Based on...
Oh, this guy was so cringe. Like, just his mannerisms and his facial expressions and all the mouth noise in the mic. It was so... I'm very averse to a lot of mouth noise. It drives me crazy. And... oh, there's a part in his, when he's up on the stand and he's like rubbing his face and he's like licking, like smacking his tongue. That was so gross to me. I guess he can't help it, but he was belligerent and a terrible witness. Like, a lot of Amber's expert witnesses have not been very good, but I think it's not just because of her or the choices that they make in hiring hiring their witnesses. I think it's just she doesn't have a good case to begin with, so they don't have a lot of great things to draw from.
My observations, he is straight out of the Men in Black universe. He's an alien in human skin. No, it's not mean, he is. He's like a doctor in a horror movie set in the 1940s that gets off on lobotomizing his patients. No, those are the vibes I get. And yes, of course,
Optics.
Doc.
Yeah, he was mentioned.
Future, but evil.
Several times.
He completely short circuits at one point. Seriously, stable witness.exe cannot be found. Have a look at Johnny's lawyer, Ben Chu.
And they were like,
high on his own
what's
stash.
going on with him?
Johnny leans forward, thinking this bloke is fascinating. Yeah. What a character.
You know whether Marlon Brando used an earpiece?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
I know.
So the answer is no, he does not use one now.
No,
what a stupid response.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I know nothing.
I'd like to move to strike the rest of his answer. I know nothing is a good place to end. Another Hollywood expert says...
I mean, he had also said stuff like, one of the pictures of Johnny passed out, he had also referred to that picture as him having vomit on him. That was not the case. It was ice cream. And then the stuff about the earpieces, he was trying to make the argument that Johnny was having his lines fed to him when earlier in the trial it had been reported that it was music that was being fed to him. But even if it wasn't music, even if it was his lines, this is not uncommon. So that whole thing was weird. And then how he's diagnosing Johnny with all of this stuff, narcissistic, that they even tried to... Her attorney tried to indicate that because Johnny was eating candy while sitting at the table and drawing, which he brought his drawing notebook and he was drawing a lot, which, you know, for people like I thought I'd heard it reported that he has ADHD or whatever, but I'd heard he has dyslexia. And a lot of times people that have those types of processing things going on in their brain, it helps for them to have something to distract themselves so that they can actually focus on what they're listening to. And so he was like giving him this diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder or something like that because of the eating candy and the it was like, what? It was crazy. It was surreal. Oh, jeez.
I'd like to move to strike the rest of his answer. I know nothing is a good place to end. Another Hollywood expert says Amber was on track to make $73 billion before Adam Waldman, representing Johnny, publicly said she's tricking everyone. Day 21, Ben Chew says, throw out their counter lawsuit, Your Honour. They're doing a shit job. Rottenborn replies, we're not that shit, Your Honour. And then Penny says, honestly, I'm fucked if I know. Everyone continue as normal and we'll let the jury decide soon. The president of DC...
And it was, I mean, probably on the technical merits or whatever, it could have and should have been thrown out, but I think the judge is trying to be cautious not to leave too much of a huge doorway open for possible appeal. So, and a lot of times, the attorneys were saying things like, when there's any sort of possibility of doubt, a lot of times you are going to give the benefit more to the defense than the plaintiff. So I don't think that was anything out of ordinary what the judge did, according to the legal experts that were talking about this stuff.
Film says without editors, actors look terrible. Jason Momoa and Amber Heard were terrible together.
Good chemistry,
Johnny's finger surgeon says if he beat up people with his cast, he probably would remember damage on the cast. And then familiar faces return for rebuttal. The Hollywood deal maker guy, I actually love this bloke.
Curry.
I'm a
this
deal
guy's
maker.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is where I'm up to on day 21.
Oh, he hasn't gotten to Dr. Curry, Dr. Muffins. She came back and she put on the glasses. He's going to be so happy about that. There's definitely going to be a part 6. There absolutely will be. I just can't imagine that there won't be. And I don't know, there's also a possibility it could extend to an 8. I guess a lot of it just depends on how much time he's going to spend on each witness whenever he's watching the rest of it.
There's a bit to go still, but I believe we are overall getting to the tail end of this trial and closing arguments.
That witness.
Overall,
that
where
witness.
I'm up to on day 21. There's a bit to go still, but I believe we are overall getting.
This guy right here was a kind of a surprise-ish witness that showed up. He testified about the Hicksville incident, and that was very interesting. He completely countered or disputed Amber's account of events at the Hicksville. And that little place that he operated, he doesn't operate it anymore. I think he said he had to stop because of health issues. But it's still there. It's still being run. It's this cute little, like, it's a trailer. They call it Trailer Palace or something like that. And it's these cute little, camping trailers that you can haul behind, like some of them are like Airstreams. And it's set around this central place, like a pool and like an area. It's just the cutest little thing. And you can rent the trailer for a night or whatever. And it's a neat little place. One of the attorneys on Wakanda Laws has booked a room there for like 6 months from now. So, hopefully he'll show up on Wakanda Law, or I'll remember to go to his channel and check out any reporting he does from that location.
To the tail end of this trial and closing arguments are set for Friday, I think. Yeah. Oi, I want to get something off my chest immediately. I'm not making videos on this topic because I'm a far right-wing citizen journalist or a men's rights activist or paid by a Johnny Depp marketing team.
Oh, has that been accused of him? Well, I don't know I never knew who this guy was until I started watching it, but I never got the feeling that was the case, that he was like some sort of far right-winger or men's rights. Yeah, I don't think that speaking up on behalf of men's rights makes you some lunatic type men's rights far fringe group thing. The problem is this is an issue that's not getting talked about enough. It's being overshadowed by this nonsense about women always being victim and believing all women, always being victims and believing all women, and how we're oppressed, which is complete BS. We are not oppressed in a Western country. There's real oppression going on of women, but also other types of people too, depending on what other country you're in. But in a Western country, like the US, let's say, where I'm from, it's not a thing. And I could go into the nitty-gritty about that, but I don't think pointing out the fact that men are genuinely getting the short, awful end of the stick when it comes to stuff like this, that doesn't make you some fringe type of person. You're just pointing out the reality. So that's unfortunate that he receives accusations about that, if that's what he's getting ready to say here.
Or a men's rights activist, or paid by a Johnny Depp marketing team in any way. I'm not a bot, I'm not a planned influencer, and abusive violence towards any human, man, woman, or non-binary is shit. That is my simplest and most straightforward viewpoint.
And that's basic common sense, right? Just because you're pointing out that men are recipients of this more often than a lot of people realize doesn't mean that you're saying that women never are. Women are. But women also do lie about that sort of stuff. And women have destroyed men's lives by lying about that sort of stuff. That is a thing. It happens. And like I've said in other videos, this is why I'm so glad this trial has been made public and that it's happening.
I cover pop culture on this channel. I always have since 2014 with the Game of Thrones recaps and reviews. I interview actors myself, including bloody Aquaman in 2018. I have an inclination...
Did he really? I saw that and I was going to watch it, but did he really interview these actors, or was it like, you know, a joke sort of thing where he put his... Like, he made it look like he's interviewing them, but he really wasn't? Honestly, don't know. I just assumed it was like a joke sort of thing. But if you really did, that would be funny. Y'all let me know. I've got the Jason Momoa thing in my to watch list. His interview with Jason Momoa. Definitely going to check that out. That's funny. If he really did, that's cool. Good on him.
I interview actors myself, including bloody Aquaman in 2018. I have an inclination towards being organically interested in this topic. As a wanker with a master's degree in internet communications, I have grown passionate about watching a legal proceeding live on the internet from beginning to end. That is a fascinating modern occurrence.
It is.
So with all that said, I would now like to make a motion to enter myself as an expert in this case. Just joking, or am I? Look, a handful of Amber's witnesses were okay. As of day 21, Rottenborn and friends have rested their case, and there's a small handful of memorable people we saw on Amber's side. Memorable for the right reasons, like, not like this psychiatrist, fuck me. Memorable as in offered information that made me consider Amber's accusations. The makeup artist that says she covered marks on Amber's face is one of them. She was careful with her words, using phrases like discoloration rather than bruising. And it's interesting, she said they stopped being friends because it was too draining. There's always a drama. Her previous closest friends do all look a bit bloody exhausted too these days. This Sheila, speaking of her fear of Johnny when he was pissed and angry, was an okay witness. It makes you consider Johnny's character was the strongest part of it. And then Whitney, the sister, of course, is the only one hands down testifying that she saw physical violence and was partly involved in the scrap. That's about it. Most other witnesses just did feel like they were out to do character assassinations. Bloody objection speculation all over the shop. Look, Ben Chew did summarise it well. He did a good recap of Amber's case on day 21 during his motion to dismiss her countersuit.
As well as, quote, Ms. Heard's own witnesses who have testified in various forms at various times that there were no injuries to her face whatsoever between May 21st and May 27th, 2016, when she walked in to court with her publicist, her lawyer, her former best friend who no longer speaks with her, for a no-notice ex parte TRO.
Right, and the next day, there was no bruise on her face either. That came up today in Camille Vasquez's cross-examination. They showed a picture of her the next day after she had filed this restraining order, divorce, whatever, against Johnny, where they took a picture of her in the courthouse and she's looking all gaunt and so sad, and she's got this prominent bruise on her face. And she walks out. TMZ had been tipped off she was going to be coming out and that she was going to have a bruise on her right face to make sure to get that. And then the next day, she's seen walking with her friend, her former friend, no bruise at all on her face. She claims she was wearing makeup, but no, that doesn't fly. It just doesn't fly. She's just a liar. And I really hope nobody on the jury fell for it.
No
You
one
never
is
know.
hiding facts that Johnny has had drug and alcohol issues, anger and jealousy issues, and violent tendencies towards inanimate objects, breaking shit when he's raging out.
He
I'd
says
say
he's been known to assault a couch or two.
the fact that he himself has not looked to hide that stuff is why lots of people have started bandwagoning and getting on his side a lot. Like, not because they're just blind fans, but because you see someone that's kind of hit rock bottom in the last decade, and we do all know him from lots of old movies, and you know, he's had a long career. And it appears he's become very self-aware and open about discussing that. This makes people empathetic, especially if he truly never was the instigator, the initial physical aggressor, and has in fact ended up with a deformed finger because of his spouse. The world loves a fucking comeback story, and that's also why people are giving a shit, I think. I know I've focused on that a lot, like why I'm reviewing this stuff and why people give a shit. I just see it getting criticised a lot too, and I don't think there's anything complex about it. So yeah, it's all feeling relatively the same as it's felt over the last month. Johnny and his team are feeling pretty honest. Amber and her team are feeling pretty
Shady.
dodgy, like they're lying and fabricating,
Shady,
speculating,
yes.
and or embellishing truths at a minimum. Anyway, I've tested positive of COVID, but fucking I can't speak. You see, I've got brain fog already. I've tested positive for COVID as of today, everyone, and I reckon my voice is about to get even more scratchy than it already is.
Well, sorry about that. I hope you get to feeling better. Not that you're ever going to watch this, but I hope you get to feeling better, and make sure you keep hydrated.
So, might be about a week until I do a final video on this topic. I'll do a bloody reflection piece or something. Yeah, Jerry Springer's final thoughts. But I better go be a bum and take it easy. See how my bloody two Pfizers and one Moderna hold up. And I do have one video on the content schedule, which is an interview with actor Sam Neill in the lead up to Jurassic World Dominion. So keep an eye out for that if I sneak it out. And please do check out the Objection t-shirts on AussieManShop.com. You can buy speculation, hearsay, and my favourite, objection to my own question. Cheers,
awesome.
legends.
Okay. Oh yeah, that video. Okay, so this was another good one by Ozzy Man, and absolutely looking forward to hearing the rest of his thoughts about this trial, and also checking out his other stuff. He's just so funny, and he just you know, he just tells it like what he thinks. I may not necessarily agree completely with his take on stuff like in that other video, like maybe not the last video, but the one before that. And, you know, he's also referenced people getting beside him in this case as bandwagoning. I don't know if maybe he's just not thinking of that word in the same way that I am. So that might not really be any sort of anything. But yeah, so I don't feel like I have much more to add. I feel like the more I talk about this case, the more I tend to repeat the stuff I've said before, because, well, it's all related to the same thing. But super curious to see what's going to happen with the jury. They get the case tomorrow. If they cannot come to a decision by supper time, from what I understand, they're going to have the weekend off, Monday off, come back Tuesday. I will be checking my different, you know, YouTube folks that I watch and see if there's any sort of indication about the jury coming back. Wakanda Law was going to do a 24-hour stream tomorrow, but he has since amended that, knowing that the jury might end up going home. I think he was under the assumption that the judge was going to just keep them there until they made a decision, but that's not going to be the case. And I didn't think that would be the case anyway. So my initial thoughts were, if I was here when the jury's getting ready to come in, that I was going to do a reaction to watching Wakanda. That was my idea. The problem is, if this does happen tomorrow, I mean, I personally think they shouldn't take any time. I feel like this is so open and shut, really, in Johnny's favor, that they should just be done with it by tomorrow. They may be. You never know with juries. That's the thing. But tomorrow and Saturday, of course, nothing's happening over the weekend, but tomorrow and Saturday anyway, I'm going to be going to one of our local anime cons, so I won't be around very much to do anything like that. So we'll just see how tomorrow goes. If a jury comes down tomorrow afternoon, I will not be around to witness it. But it will be hard to miss if it happens. I'm sure I'll know what it is by the time I ever sit down to film anything about it, if it happens tomorrow. But whatever. I guess that's it. So I'm going to wrap this one up. This might be a record for me on my Ozzy Man time, because I have tended to go 25, 30, 34, 33, 34 minutes, because it's just something I can really get into. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I have mucho to do today, and I will see you guys later. Adios.